Yes, it's a BumCast. I am your host, HBIC, the head bum in charge, along with Baloney, Dougie Freshness, and the Southside Bum is on assignment. He'll be back next week. But actually, quick show announcement, we're actually off next Monday. Bears Monday night. So we'll be on Tuesday night.
Son of a biscuit. I forgot all about that.
Damn.
Yeah, no show next Monday. Next Tuesday.
I'm gonna have to check my vacation schedule. See.
Oh, don't you start. Don't you start. Okay, yeah. Monday night off. Interesting. I forgot all about that. Good call, Jason.
Yeah. I had to check that because we had people reach out to us about plans on Sunday, and I was like, wait, if there's a Bears game, I'm not going Sunday. And then I was like, oh, Monday night. Yes, I am available on Sunday. So welcome back, Dougie. You were off for the past couple of weeks. You had a nice little extended unauthorized vacation. You've already I unfortunately I have some bad news for you that you've already burned all of your vacation time for 2025 already. So.
It's gonna be a long year.
You know what my takeaway is, you're not gonna like this, Jason. Dougie's got to go on vacation more often. Every time he goes on vacation, a Chicago coach gets fired. If we would have been on vacation one more week, Billy Donovan probably would have gotten the axe.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But Dougie, how was the trip? How was time with the family? So,
dude, you know what? It was nice. This time I did not get the internet package. I really disconnected from absolutely everything. I had my phone on airplane mode. I was able, I did the happy hour in between cruises. But besides that, I literally had my phone on airplane mode until I landed back here in Chicago today. Like, I didn't want to hear nothing from work. I didn't, I just shut everything off, and it was a beautiful fucking thing, dude. It was awesome. So
it's probably good for your health and mental health. No checking scores, no checking, Bulls, Blackhawks, Bears scores. You were just checked out.
Dude, I was completely checked out. Yesterday, I couldn't even get the Bears game because it was like they're not going to show that anywhere else besides San Francisco and Chicago with the way that those teams were looking. So I was subjected to watching the Bears game via Red Zone. So that's all I got to see.
Which was kind of convenient because they only had 3 games, so they showed predominantly that game too anyway. The game anyways. So
yeah, predominantly us doing nothing, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, no, it was nice. It was refreshing. I have a slew. I have a bag full of cocks for you guys to rate.
I love bag full of
Yeah.
cocks, man.
I-
That's
Yeah, we're gonna have cock segments for going into 2025. Hit some really cool. There was actually 2 different custom cocktail bars on this cruise. They were throwing some heat. One of them was an international cocktail thing, where it was cocktails from around the world. So it was
Wow. Diversity
pretty,
cocks. I like that.
yes, diversity
Yeah.
cock. Yeah. So but yeah, I mean that'll be a future segment with that or whatever. But otherwise, other than that, I mean just beautiful weather, got to hang out with the family, and life is good.
That
What you
boy.
got?
so. Question for you, Dougie.
Yeah.
So like when the boat docks at an island, either it's a private island or a port, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you always get off and go on the island, or do you hang back with the empty boat and get to experience more freedom on the boat? I guess.
Very good question. It depends on the island. So, I've been to Nassau a bunch of times, which is where like Atlantis is at and all that. It's great to see a couple times. After that, it's pretty much swaparama. You know, there ain't nothing great really to see besides, like if you want to go to a private beach. But I usually stay on for that, and it's really nice. There's nobody on board, so it's just you and whoever's serving you drinks. And
Yeah, and I'm sure maybe they slip you a little something extra at times, and then you get the pool to yourself,
yeah,
and go to casino, and you don't have to deal with a million people if you want to, 'cause that's what I hate is when I'm trying to play the casino and you sit with a bunch of randos who don't know how to play like blackjack, for example, and they
Right.
just ruin your game, and you're just
Yeah.
like, all right, like screw this, I'm done. But if you sit there and you have a couple people who actually know what they're doing, you can clean up pretty well.
yeah, this one actually had 2 casinos on board. It had a upper and a lower casino. One was smoking, one was non-smoking. So that was pretty nice. It's not that I don't mind the smoke or whatever, but it's like sometimes when you're sitting there playing and somebody lights up a cigarette right next to you, like sometimes that just gets to be a bit too much. So
Oof.
it's nice to have that option or whatever. But yeah, Madison got so freaking tired of going up and down the stairs to the slide, because usually like you get that break because you're waiting on people to go down the slide, and she wasn't getting that break because nobody was on board. She was literally just like, I can't do steps anymore. So it was nice not having anybody on board.
It's all right.
Yeah.
All right, Peter, how was your weekend, my man? I saw you Saturday night. We had a good time drinking Michter's.
I was gonna say we had a wonderful time at the Brownstone out in, what is that, Lincoln Park or
Anderson? I think it's more
Andersonville. Either way, it's way far north for my liking, but it was all worth it at the end. The people at Michter's and Brownstones threw a great event, and they did some raffling for some allocated bottles. And if you can see right here, I was able to finally snag me a Michter's 10 bourbon. It was the ever elusive bourbon.
You were the first one. You were the first one called too.
So they had like, I think they had close to, what do you think, like 17 bottles? They're almost like 20 bottles for a raffle.
Yeah.
And you get one ticket each. And I was the first number called, and I was like, nice. I don't have to worry or stress about anything anymore. I was like, wait till everyone else wins.
How many people were there? Like how many people you
was packed bar.
Like 50, 60 people, maybe even more.
I told Julie it was probably around 60 people. The whole bar was doing the Michter's tasting. So front to back, everyone was seated and everyone was doing their flights. It was a great time. Obviously, Michter's, we've become friendly with them. They've done our whiskey tailgates. It was a great event. And I came home happy. I came home like I won the lottery. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, it was a good Saturday, not good Sunday, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. And before we went to Brownstone, I found like my new paradise, man.
I saw that.
Right next door to the bar was a Mexican restaurant, and we're just gonna stop and we're gonna have food. And they open later in the evening, so it's not like a normal like lunch spot. So they opened at 4:00. We're like, okay, it's fine. So we go in there and it's dimly lit. They got like disco lights playing. I walk in and they're playing like heavy like house music, man. And I'm just like, oh man, like it was like immediate like club vibes. And I'm like, tacos, margaritas, club music. Like I may never leave this place. That was like legit, like my heaven. If that was a heaven, that would be my heaven. And the food and the cocktails were phenomenal. Like I would say they're not like your taqueria tacos, but they're like like your Big Star kind of tacos, but like they're better. They were much
Better, you say?
Yeah, better. I think they were better than Big Star, and their cocktails were. It wasn't just like they had like more like specialty cocktails than they did actually types of margaritas, but like all their specialty drinks were like just fresh, like and fresh ingredients plus like different syrups and all that mixers and stuff. So it was like just not like your normal drinks you would see like at a Mexican restaurant. It was like very unique program. Like I was like, oh shit, like I'm at like Rick Bayless's cocktail bar or something like that. That's how like unique some of this stuff was. But just the bartender was awesome. Like he's just young guy, just like it's like whose playlist is this? Like, oh, it's mine. I'm like, I like this guy already. Like so yeah, I found my new heaven.
Dude, I can't stop grinning just thinking of like you in a club, like with a nice drink, and you're like, "Hey, what's your name?" And then just take a bite out of a taco, like.
Yeah, great stuff. So,
oh yeah,
yeah, that was basically my weekend, and then the Bears happened. But before we get to that, we wanted to start off the show. Oh, before we get to the next thing I was going to say, just quick super chat from Gordo. Cheers, bums. Cheers, Gordo. Hope you're doing well, friend.
Salud, Gordo.
So we have a huge announcement Huge announcement.
Why'd you have to do it like that?
I just had to.
I'm just kidding.
We're back with another watch party, but it's at a brand new location. The bums are live at the Ramova, friends. We're going to be back on January 10th at 6 p.m. We're going to be in the upstairs loft. If you were there for the season kickoff with Sox Machine and 108 last year, you know exactly what room we're talking about. But yeah, the bums at the Ramova, bums live at the Ramova. January 10th. It's going to be a great time. We're going to just put up another good watch party event, and hopefully being in the city, maybe, easier for some people to get to instead of, driving out to the burbs, but we're going to be doing a good time at the Ramova. We love the guys there.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to hear what the acoustics sound like when we get the Detroit Sucks chant going.
That's the thing I'm excited about. One, I'm excited about the whole thing. We've been to the Ramova a couple of times. The beer there is awesome. The Ramova loft specifically, it's got a 20-foot high video wall that you could, you could see everything. And I'm excited for an original six matchup. I know the Blackhawks have been, not great as of late, but you always get, a little more juice when it's the Red Wings. There's a little more incentive. And yeah, I think the Ramova is doing great things. Obviously, we talked about, Sox Fest Live. Like, if you are going to that, consider this like an event to get you familiarized with the place. You could try the beers before you do it at Sox Fest. You could get familiarized with the parking and everything else. So this is like like a little teaser before the big party at the end of the month. So yeah, it's a Friday night. And we're excited. We're excited with, obviously everyone at the Ramova is awesome, and we appreciate everyone there.
Yeah. Gordo said Ramova does have CHSN. We already talked it. They're covered.
It's covered.
Yeah. There may or may not be an illegal antenna.
No, don't say that. They got the DirecTV live stream or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they do. It's but we can't wait to see everyone. It'll be great partying with everyone right after the new year and everything. And hopefully people won't be on their dry January. I'm not doing the full dry January this year or next year. I'm gonna do dry-ish. So I'm just gonna
dry-ish. That's good.
I'm gonna when there's an event, I'll be socializing, but I'm gonna other than that I'll keep it cool. But yeah, man, Ramova's fun time, dude. So
yeah, we were just there recently for
beers.
Josh
Beers, yeah. The beers they got tapped there are awesome. Their winter cocktails were great. So it's gonna be a good time.
And the Ramova whiskey that stay tuned for that. That's a little tease
Mm,
for our Bourbon Bums reviews. They
Yeah.
got their own sourced whiskey that we were able to try. So they do
Yes,
some
we have a-
cocktails there, but you could try it neat.
Yeah. We will be dropping a review on that very shortly. So, with that, we'll transition. We'll post this on the Twitter machine after the show. Get the full announcement and everything. But we have more Hawks news. We're going to transition with that. Another one bites the dust, folks. Another manager bites the dust. A few days ago, Kyle Davidson now announced Luke Richardson has been fired. So that makes coach number, I think I lost count. It's four the past couple months.
Within the
so-
calendar year, literally every Chicago sports team besides the Bulls. I mean, if you want to count the Fire, the Sky, the Cubs the Cubs got rid of their manager at the beginning of or at the end of last year. So within the calendar year, it's been literally everybody.
Yeah. So, all right. Dougie, were you able to find the news when you were on cruise? Are we breaking news for you right now?
Yeah, imagine us breaking news like a week old. Dougie, you won't believe this.
It's like worse than a newspaper, you know. No, I did hear about it. It's going to be part of my bum of the week on how I heard. So I'll save that for later. But I do believe that this move had to happen. I was preaching about this move probably about a month ago now, if not a little bit more. Luke Richardson, really, really good guy. I do believe that he is a good coach. I just don't think he's the right coach. I'm sure he's going to find his feet somewhere. And I could actually see him being a head coach somewhere again someday. Just not in a development rebuild stage. Like, he has shown that he can't handle that aspect of it. With the switching of the lines, guys don't even have time to gel. So you need time to gel. You need to know what's going to happen with your line mates, everything like that. And he was switching lines every day. Just, you could see the writing was on the wall, and like he was just grabbing at straws, just trying to, make something work, make something pop, and it just wasn't working. And when you get Bedard frustrated, and he's not, he's kind of having a sophomore slump in a way, it's not going to bode well for you. I know a lot of people were saying, hey, what's the point in firing them if they're not going to be good for the next year and a half to 2 years? You know what? I understand that logic, but I also disagree with that logic too, because you know what? You got to start building a repertoire with these players and getting these players going and getting them improving. I don't mind losing like a tough loss, but you can't come out of the gates flat every game. This is all coaching stuff, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's like, boom, they start firing it on in the third. Like, you can't be like the Bears and start in the second half. You got hockey's a game. You got to have that momentum. You got to have it going. And they just didn't have that. And that was all coaching, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, and by you guys, I mean you, Dougie, and Joey P. You guys are obviously at most of the home games. I'm watching at home, but I'm not watching as closely as you are. But from the games I've seen, it's noticeable the regression that this team has made from last year to this year. We thought they were going to take a step up. Mm-hmm. They might be worse this year than they were last year. The blown leads is noticeable. You take a lead early and you blow it right away. That, like you mentioned, is coaching, the shift. But more importantly, and it's something we preach all the time about Caleb Williams and his development, that's paramount to everything else. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with Connor Bedard. We want to see him take that next step to superstardom. And we thought he was on his way there last season. And now this year, he looks lost at times. I went to the last game that he was actually a coach with Joey P. So thank you, Dougie, for the tickets. That was awesome. Appreciate it. I took Scarlett. It was a great time. But that game, I told Joey P, something has to change, because that team looked flat and they looked like unenthused, or like they didn't want to be there. They were just going through the motions. And I'm like, holy cow, this is noticeable. And the main thing that was noticeable wasn't even the stuff on the ice too. It was the empty seats in the stadium. I had never seen the United Center like that. Like, we've gone to a lot of Blackhawks games, and it's loud and it's popping, And it was an early start. It was a TNT game. I get that. But I turned to Joey at one point. I'm like, I'm shocked it's like this empty, and I'm shocked it's this quiet.
Yeah.
But that's goes to like the product on the ice. We got nothing to cheer for. There's literally like at some points they didn't have possession for not seconds at a time, like minutes at a time. They were just chasing the puck. And then when they did get it, it was just dump and chase. They don't get it. And it's just turnover. And I'm like, this is brutal to watch. So I get it. And we're going to talk about this later with the Bears, but there's only so much a coach can do when the talent on the field or on the ice just flat out isn't there.
Yeah.
But it's about sending a message. And at this point, the Blackhawks had to send the message that something had to change. And most of it has to do with Connor Bedard. And you need to see him, go forward instead of backwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And, those empty seats also a credit not having, being able to watch a bad product on TV either, that hurts you too. Like if it's a good product, people are still going to show up regardless whether they can watch it on TV or not. Now, when they're playing like this, absolutely not. You're not going to waste your time on watching it on TV or, the extra effort to watch it on TV or go to the stadium.
That being said, sorry, Dougie.
Yeah,
being said, I want to put that out there now. January 10th, I'm marking it down as a win.
Okay.
That's going to be a dub.
I love it. Hell yeah.
It's manifesting wins. I like it.
Yeah. But it is amazing though, isn't it? Like from those seats, you can see like hockey looks so slow. You see stuff develop from those corners and everything like that. It's different than watching on TV, if that makes sense. You could really just see the whole open ice, it's just so frustrating. I'm frustrated with all Chicago sports. I
think we all are, man. If you look, I listened to The Stretch, what used to be the mid show, but it's basically the Barstool Chicago show. And they're going through the same thing. Those guys get paid to do what we do.
Right.
And one of the guys' name is White Sox Dave. Chief obviously does the Blackhawks thing. They are struggling to even just talk about Chicago sports because there's nothing really to talk about other than the fact that like most of the teams or all of the teams suck.
Yeah. Nothing.
However, I will say, I pulled the trigger, guys. I'm officially in for this season and next season. I'm going to be a Blackhawks season ticket holder. Dougie, you gifted me your tickets while you were gone, and I ended up taking my brother with and my wife, and we had such a good time. We were talking with Joe about the half season you guys do, and me and my brother were like, let's split a half season, right? It's 10 games each. We'll take 2 seats and we'll divvy them up. And Joey had his guy, which is your guy, reach out to me, and I had to just buy 5 games for this year to get locked in the next, and I'm gonna try to get close to you guys. So don't be screwing me now and like going down to like 100 level after I just get my foot in the door.
No, honestly, dude, I don't think I would change my seats even if I had the option. Like you could just see everything, and that's what I like. You got the bar right behind you. You got a pisser like 10.
They're perfect seats, Dougie. I mean, compliment to you, compliment to Joey. I told him like immediately that like one, you see everything like you mentioned. Like you could see who's taking shifts off immediately. I'm like, oh, this guy's not even trying right now.
Right.
But you got the bathroom, you got the bar, which at this point it's like cheers. Everyone knows your names. They're like, where's Dougie and stuff. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out, Dougie, that the bartender, John there, he used to bartend at places I promoted at. So I've known that guy like 15 years. So I haven't seen him in a dozen or 10, not that long, but I haven't probably seen him like in 10 years. Okay. But I was like, John was like, look at this fucking asshole. I'm like, what's up, dude? Like, how you been, man? Shooting the shit, catching up and everything. But yeah, that was the same thing. Peter, you said it. My brother said the same thing. Those are the perfect seats, bar, bathroom. You're in and out for anything you want. And having the second row right there. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be sitting in your same row as you, but I am going to be kind of concurrent, or behind you, whatever, for the games. But hopefully next year we'll get locked in and I'll either be with you, next to you, whatever. But I'm in for the Blackhawks next year. So
hell yeah,
let's fucking go on.
Credit to the Chicago sports bums, you, Joey P especially, but all of us. I mean, the teams could be bad, but one, we won't stop going to games, and we won't stop having good times at games, whether it be Whiskey at Comiskey or Bears games or Blackhawks or anything else. Our watch parties. We're trying. The players on the field and on the ice might not be trying, but we're trying our damnedest.
Yeah. Paris is Barry Horowitz style. All right. Let's get it. Let's rip the Band-Aid out because we got a fun segment at the end, like toward the second half of the show. But we have to unfortunately talk some Bears. That was I hate to admit it, guys, but I think firing Eberflus was a mistake. that was a ripple effect there. Like the defense was fucking.
Be careful what you wish for.
Right. The defense was obviously noticeably worse yesterday, with Eberflus not calling a defense, right? So Thomas Brown not being up in the skybox or up in the booth. Now he's on the field. Maybe he doesn't see everything. Now he's got his mind is preoccupied with other stuff as a coach. So he's not getting that same attention that maybe Caleb was getting those couple of weeks after Shane Waldron got fired. But did the Bears make a mistake by not having Washington or Hightower be the interim head coach and leaving Thomas Brown up in the booth? Because we all kind of expected to get the coaching bump, right? Every time the team brings someone in, they play a little better, maybe they win a game or two. Maybe not going to change the course of a whole season, but maybe in the very short interim you get a little boost, a little jolt, a little caffeine in you. But that was about as rock bottom flat you can get, and having 35 yards in the first half, all these 3 and outs, absolutely fucking horrendous. And it was to the point where I told you guys, I joked about it, but I was like, I'm 1 3 and out away from turning this game off and going Christmas shopping. And that's what I did. They immediately went 3 and out, and I said, we're fucking out of here. We're going to Oak Brook.
Smart.
And I was like, I'm not missing anything, right? I'm not missing. I saw Caleb Williams threw 2 touchdown passes. I saw the Rome pass, which was awesome. But there was no reason to sit and watch that game when you're already down 28-0 at halftime.
Yeah. So Jason, you mentioned and you asked, and a lot of people were saying this yesterday and today, did they make a mistake keeping Thomas Brown or making him the head coach and not keeping him as offensive coordinator? No, because we said this was going to be a trial run, a test run. What would have happened if Thomas Brown stays at offensive coordinator? Caleb looks great. The offense doesn't skip a beat. And then he's named head coach next year, because then we see that this guy's not fit to be a head coach. And it's hard to say that after one game traveling to the West Coast, after him getting put in a tough position of he was never an offensive coordinator 3 weeks ago, and he was an offensive coordinator. He wasn't a head coach not 1 week ago. So it's he's being asked a lot of them. But this is what you want, trial by fire. Put your feet to the fire and see what you're made of. And if he's not the head coach, now we check him off the list. Because the worst thing that could have happened was they play awesome on offense this game, next game, and the other, which I've been asking for. I said anything, but I want Caleb's progress, but not at the expense of them hiring Thomas Brown as a head coach when we know that's probably not a good idea, because he could have been awesome. He could have been calling plays and stayed in his skybox, and everything could have been good, but then we would have never known whether or not he could have coached his team. He's got a 5-game trial, and 1 game in, he ain't the guy, which is nice. Now we could focus on Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel, and everything else, you just cross him off the list.
Yeah. That's the whole thing too. And you know what? I also think it could be a product of too many other people getting promoted and put into jobs that maybe they can't handle either. I mean, you're going to have, when you have an offensive coordinator and a head coach gone within 2 weeks of each other or so, you've got too many people moving into bigger roles. There's other roles that maybe people aren't doing great at, maybe the guy playing or calling defensive calls now, maybe he isn't the dude, there's a lot of that. Also, I've spent a lot of time around Detroit fans, unfortunately, these last 2 cruises, because they had the last 2 Thursday games, and I just so happened to be watching games with them. I don't know if Ben Johnson's that dude. I really don't.
Nah, that's rope-a-dope. They're rope-a-doping you. The Lions fans keep saying that because they don't want him gone.
Yeah.
No, see,
he's gonna sabotage. He's gonna sabotage so he doesn't get stuck with the Bears. And then once he gets a opening that he actually sees as, oh, I kind of want that, then he's gonna be like, yeah.
Dude,
but
the vibes that I was getting in the 2 games that I was watching him, I was getting those Matt Nagy vibes, dude.
No, get out of here. We talked about those vibes last week too.
Okay,
everyone's talking about the Matt Nagy vibes. You should have watched the show, Dougie. I went on a rant because Johnny said the same thing, and I said, and Gas Money Bob, rightfully so, said, Ben Johnson, this is his offense. When Matt Nagy was the coach, he was still running Andy Reid's offense. He was still someone else. Like, obviously, we still don't know. He is a great unknown what Ben Johnson can be, but he's about as surefire as it comes when it comes to promoting an offensive coordinator to the head coach. We can't say, 5 years from now he was the right thing or the wrong thing, but it's the same thing with Caleb Williams, right? It's about as surefire as they come.
Yeah. See, now I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just not sold on it right now. That was the vibes that I was getting while I was on there. And then I don't know. I think you have to almost lean towards like a Cliff Kingsbury and get Caleb Williams back with his guy. And that's my view. That's my view right now. Maybe I had too many cocktails on the cruise.
I think that seawater is still fucking with your brain, dude.
You got to do the Kramer, get the water out.
I don't know.
No, I said that we went through the whole rundown of coaches, and I said Cliff Kingsbury, I don't want him because yes, he's making Jaden Daniels look awesome, like a can't miss future, MVP.
Right.
But you saw how much of that is Dan Quinn too, because you saw when he was the coach at Arizona, and he had young Kyler Murray and he had DeAndre Hopkins, and they couldn't still figure that shit out with that team, and that team imploded. I don't want him anywhere near Caleb Williams at this point. I've seen it. I've seen the experiment. Yeah. I don't want that. I think it's either we went through the list, but I am, like Ben Johnson would be my 1-1, or if someone like Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan became available somehow. But also, I heard a lot of people talking.
Kyle Shanahan saw that team and was like, no chance.
Yeah, they asked him about that. They asked him about that in the pregame press conference. They said, what do you think if you were traded to another team? And he's like, well, I'm happy right here. I intend to be here for years. Like, okay, number one, if you get traded, it's not your choice. Number two, if you get fired, it's not your choice. So, I mean, you can say you want to be here, but that's not really up to you, dude, unless you choose not to resign when your contract expires.
Jojo,
but what's up?
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Okay. But there was a lot of people on like ESPN and The Score saying how we got to just trade our top of the draft picks to the Rams or to the 49ers. And I'm just like, what, are you fucking people watching, watching the product? We need 2 offensive linemen, a defensive lineman. Yes, we're going to have $80 million in salary cap space. But why are we going to just when Sean Payton was traded, that was a first and second round.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's going to go anything less for Kyle Shanahan? Absolutely fucking not. So you're going to give up 2 high draft picks to get a coach in here? No, we need players. We need fucking a line that can protect Caleb Williams, not give up fucking 7 sacks a game and get the kid killed, right? So you need a defensive line who, when Montez Sweat's getting double teamed, that someone else can gain pressure and not get run on left and right by fucking third string running backs. Get fucking players. You got a first and 2 seconds, and they're going to be high. Right now, the Bears are 9th overall pick in the draft, and they're going to have another Carolina's second round pick, which is probably going to be top 5.
Mid-30s.
Yeah. So you're going to have at least a top 5 plus maybe a top 40 pick at this point, right? So fucking just don't fuck up. Hit on those draft picks, and then pay some money to get a coach. That's all you fucking need to do. It's not fucking rocket science, but the Bears have to make it harder than it actually is because they have to do everything ass fucking backwards and just pay money for good premium blue chip free agents and hit on the draft picks and don't fucking get cute and stupid.
Jason's just like, be fucking perfect. Like,
you're not gonna be perfect in the draft pick, but when you have 3 picks, and people are saying, well, let's trade for a coach.
You got to smack on.
What the fuck are we doing here, people? Like
I like Sean McVay. Sean McVay, he showed this weekend why he's, a top tier coach, but that's something you do when you're one move away, and we're more than one move away.
Right.
Like you mentioned, Jay, 3 picks in the top 55 right now, 55-ish.
Mm-hmm.
You can miss on one of those guys, but realistically, those 3 guys have to be starters. It has to be 2 offensive linemen and defensive linemen and nothing else. I know people are going to joke that, another safety and linebacker is going to be what happens, but you can't go best available. You're not at the point where you go best available overall. Right. You need to do best available for your positions of need. That, along with the almost $100 million in salary cap that I saw, I talked about it 2 weeks ago and it was 80 million, but they're talking about the cap growing again because it grows every year.
Right.
It might be closer to 100 million when it's all said and done in salary cap. So that's another defensive lineman or offensive lineman you could draft. And that really turns around this team pretty quickly, along with the head coach. But that's what the thing is. You can't miss. You're talking about paying your head coach. If you get Ben Johnson, he's going to be one of the best paid offensive or head coach in the league. That's going to be a given.
Yeah.
If you go get Mike Vrabel, he's going to be the alpha in the room, and that's going to make things uncomfortable with people at Hallis Hall. But you got to get uncomfortable because we're all uncomfortable in this situation. We're all uncomfortable with the Bears being a laughing stock of the league. So whether it's Vrabel, whether it's Ben Johnson, whether it's somebody else, you know what? We talked about it last week, and we were talking about like, maybe it's going to be Kellen Moore or Cliff Kingsbury or Joe Brady or whoever. I don't care. Like at this point, we're not in a position to complain because we don't know. It's the great unknown. Just don't get it wrong. I'd rather be wrong and hand up. I fucked up. Mike Vrabel's an awesome head coach, even though I don't think he's going to be all that great. I'd rather be wrong 1,000 times than the Bears be wrong this one time, because this is the most important time for you guys in quite possibly the history of the league or in their franchise. It's like you got Caleb Williams, you got a pretty decent roster. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the game in a second, but you got a decent roster. It's not a bottom 5 roster by any means. You got pieces. You just can't fuck this up.
Well, here, just real quick, I want to pivot to this. Dan McNeil tweeted this out earlier today. Sources confirm that 4 coaches are on the Bears list for head coach: Ben Johnson, Brian Flores, Joe Brady, Mike Vrabel. They may want to talk to more candidates, but they're targeting these 4 more as soon as I get it. So yeah, we had Ben Johnson, Brian Flores, and Mike Vrabel on our list last week. Did we have Joe Brady, Peter? I can't remember if we did or not. Okay.
Yeah, we did. Gas Money Bob, he was his pick. I was worried about Joe Brady being with Josh Allen and talking about like this could be a Brian Daboll all over again. We don't know if the talent of Josh Allen is more paramount than anything the head coach is doing, because you see what happens when Brian Daboll went to the Giants. And I understand Danny Dimes is not good by any means, but that Giants team is in shambles more or less because of Brian Daboll. So I don't know. That worries me with Joe Brady. Brian Flores, I think, is by far the 4th on this list. He could call a great defense. He could blitz the hell out of people. He kind of threw Tua Tagovailoa under the bus multiple times in his time in Miami. I don't think he's the right fit for a Caleb Williams, and that's what worries me. And if you bring in Brian Flores or a defensive coach, and you do have to hire an offensive coordinator with that, then if the offensive coordinator gets good and gets hired as a head coach, then Caleb Williams is on his 4th offensive coordinator in the next, like the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, instill that offense and have it passed down. Make it be the Ben Johnson tree, right? That's what you want to hear. You want to hire Ben Johnson and then have it be this guy's so fucking good that they have a new branch on the tree and it's the Ben Johnson tree. That's all we want. But I think you got 2 defensive, 2 offensive guys in here. But I think Johnson obviously makes the most sense. And if they're going to interview all of them, I mean, kudos to them for covering all their bases. But I think if what you just said, Peter, you bring in a defensive guy, he leaves, you're doing another scheme. Like, get a guy whose offense is going to be there for the next fucking 20 years. That's what you want.
Yeah. I mean,
Not
Richard Brightside said, stop it. We all know they aren't going to hire anyone that makes sense. The Bears will hire another mistake. We back in search with a head coach within a year or two. Look at the history. Yeah, I know, man. That's what I'm saying. We've been saying it since I've been an adult. This team has been ass. And each coach is worse than the last one. I mean, Lovey was the last good, decent head coach we had. And every hire since then, you could probably it just goes straight downhill. But yeah, I mean, that's not going to stop us from wishing they don't fuck this up. I'm going to keep saying you just can't fuck it up.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Peter, you said you wanted to get back. You had some notes about the game too.
The one thing and this has been everywhere. It's not just us, but we keep talking about Eberflus and Thomas Brown and everything else, Warren and Poles. I watched that game yesterday. For as much as the players talked about, getting back all together and galvanizing, there was a lot of business decisions being made. If you go and check the all 22, it's Tyreek Stevenson. It's our, best corner ever, Jalen Johnson. Arm tackles left and right. They're not putting their body on the line. And I get it, man. The business decisions, you better stay healthy as opposed to, trying your hardest. But these guys quit all straight up and down the board. The Bears defense flat out quit. We could talk about the defensive coordinator and everything else. But if you look at the tape, there's guys on that field that just flat out either don't want to be there or just don't want to get hurt. So they're, going half-ass.
Yeah, I was surprised how much that Juan Jennings put up. They had Jalen Johnson on him, and he was just posing his will. And it's like
there's a clip. It's tough and I understand it's tough when you nitpick one specific play out of a whole game because everyone has mistakes. So I'm gonna fuck up 5 different pronunciations from now to the end of the show, and you could clip that and make me look like an idiot. But there's one play in specifically where Jalen Johnson had dead to rights the running back, and instead of just going at him, he took a weird ass route and just tried to arm tackle him. And I was like, oh man, he just didn't want to be in that play.
Yeah, I don't know. I was blessed because they weren't showing that game in Miami, so I had to watch it via Red Zone. So I only got to watch the San Francisco highlights, as I called them. Yeah.
There was a lot of those. It was as soon as the first couple plays on the Niners opening drive, I was like, it's going to be a long fucking day. Obviously, Eric Washington hasn't called plays in God knows how long. It's been a while for him, and maybe he just was rusty at it. Maybe it was just, all right, I got to get back in the groove of things, and hopefully it'll be better next week. Because they better figure it out, because I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, Sam Darnold threw 5 touchdowns. So
start all your Vikings next week.
Yeah.
I have been the whole season, but geez.
Jordan Addison has been on a fucking tear the past month. And Jefferson finally scored a couple touchdowns after a while, but Jordan Addison's been on a fucking tear, just running deep routes and getting touchdowns left and right. So they better get their shit together, because Jalen Johnson, if he's going to be on Justin Jefferson and he plays like that, Justin Jefferson's going to pop off for $150, and that's not going to be good for any of us, especially on a Monday night.
Good for the draft picks. We're mock drafting at this point.
That's true. That's right. We should probably do that in the show, have the way too early mock drafts.
Mock draft. I might do that. We should do that.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll do a way too early mock draft. But yeah, obviously Aaron Jones still has some gas in the tank with him. But the secondary needs to get their shit together, because you got Hawkinson, you got Jordan Addison, you got Justin Jefferson. You got to make sure, and even to a certain extent, Naylor, I think his name is. You're gonna have to cover him. Everyone's got to be all hands on deck, or it's gonna be another fucking national embarrassment.
Yeah.
No, well, the other thing, Go ahead, Dougie.
No, I was just going to say they absolutely picked the bones on Atlanta yesterday because that was one of the games that I was able to see, and yeah, if they're anything like that, yeah, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, they made Brock Purdy look like the story. It's, I guess I'm still withholding judgment on whether or not Brock Purdy is good or not. It seems like he's trending like he's pretty good, but I'm still not convinced. But when he has all the time in the world, it's hard to cover somebody for 7 seconds, Jason. And if the defensive line is just flat out not getting to the quarterback, even Jalen Johnson, who should be all pro, there's only so much time you could cover someone.
Yeah.
So it's like we can nitpick the defense top to bottom.
Yeah.
All right. One last thing before we wrap up,
yeah.
Jay, because I'm looking at it now. We talked about the Vikings game. I start all your Vikings and probably make some over bets. Do they win another game this season?
I don't think they do.
Vikings, Lions, Seahawks, Packers.
I don't think they do. Maybe the Lions because they almost beat them. And Jordan Love was booty the other day too.
Yeah.
So maybe they, but that's in Lambeau, so I don't trust that because they never play well in Lambeau, and it's, yeah, maybe the Lions game. Other than that, I don't think so. Like the Seahawks look fucking pretty good yesterday too. So
I knew he was gonna say something. That's why I was kind of talking shit about Brock Purdy. Got him. I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. He's good.
Yeah. Then I'm hoping Seattle because I'm going to that game, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think they're going to win one of the 2 home games, whether it's Lions or Seahawks. But there's a possibility they don't win another game, which is probably the better of the things.
I just want to give you guys one last take on the Bears before we move on here. This came from CBS Sports. And this is according to Chris Tripsaro. Guess he's a resident idiot over there, but he has Caleb Williams as a C- right now, which is he's technically worse according to him than Drake May, Aiden O'Connell, Bryce Young. Are you fucking kidding me? And Will Levis. He's fucking worse than Will fucking Levis. This is so egregious. I want to just like yell. And Anthony Richardson, who took himself out of the game, got benched for Joe fucking Flacco. Are you kidding me?
My man. He's just talking about week 13.
That's what that's the one thing. Yeah, that's the one thing I noticed. And I'm like, this, if we're just talking about this week, I agree with him because this game was bad. And like, no one like now, you know what? Hand up. I have to read the finer print on Jason just wants to get mad.
You
just want to get mad. If you want to get mad, baby.
I didn't see the week 13. God damn it. I thought that was seasons. All right. I'm gonna shut up now.
But to wrap this up, because I do want to talk about Caleb in that, this bad week that he had. Mm-hmm. It was bad all around. The game was bad all around, top to bottom, from start to finish, bad. This has been a problem throughout the entire season, even when you have a rookie quarterback that is trying to make plays, and he's one of the guys that hasn't quit. The veterans on this team have to help him and start making plays. Again yesterday, Cole Kmet had a huge drop. Keenan Allen had a drop, and DJ Moore all had drops. All the guys that we thought were going to help Caleb Williams, superstar, three different wide receivers, who's going to be stopped. Rome was awesome yesterday. Rome was good. Rome has been good for the better part of the year. Mm-hmm. But Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, you got to get your shit together and help this guy out, because more times than not, we're complaining that DJ Moore is pouting or Keenan Allen's old, and it's like the drops are killing him.
They've got to start fading Keenan Allen, because there's no reason to re-sign him. There's no reason to re-sign him at all.
He wants to. So, he said he wants to come back.
I'm sure
he said he wants to.
Hometown. If it's hometown discount, and you move him to the 3rd, and Rome Odunze is now your number 2, because realistically, Rome Odunze could be number 1 by the end of the season. Like he's been open more than not. It's just that Caleb's been missing him a lot more. Right. But yeah, if you want to give him if he wants to give the Bears a hometown discount, I'm cool with Keenan Allen coming back. But like there's no need for this era of Keenan Allen on this team.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, he's got to move down from, like you said, he's got to move down from 3 to 2, 2 to 3, because we need Rome to start developing, and he needs way more touches than he's getting. So,
yep. All right. That wraps up our Bears talk. As we just said, Vikings next week. So we back to bitch about it some more. Let's pay some bills. Yeah. The original Chickies Beef and Chickies Banquet is a proud sponsor of the BumCast. Are you trying to find a venue for a meeting or party? Allow Chickies to provide you with the at-home atmosphere without all the hassles and cleanup associated with hosting at your house. Chickies provides a blank slate for you and your party planner to work with. Customized menus are available upon request. Banquet Hall is located right next to Chickies Beef on Roosevelt Road in Hillside. They can host all types of events, including birthdays, showers, and even wedding receptions. Best of all, there is no rental fee. So call Brittany to plan your next event at 630-400-2876 and tell them the Bum sent you. All right, let's get to some headlines here because we got some stuff we got to talk about. First off, the White Sox have announced their coaching staff for this year. Bringing back a lot of the shit, guys. Like when you lose a MLB record of games, let's bring back three coaches.
Run it back, baby.
Run it back the good old Chicago way. So Ethan Katz returns as pitching coach. Marcus Thames returns as hitting coach. And Grady Sizemore, newly promoted, made up position of offensive coordinator, because if one thing Chicago sports does right is offensive coordinators, people. Like, we never fuck those positions up, right? So, obviously, it's a whole bunch of other people. The bench coach, Walker McKiven, he's coming from the Brewers. And then, obviously, it looks like assistant pitching coach, Matt Wise. He was the bullpen coach from the Angels. But, guys, what do you think about the Sox bringing back three of the shitty pieces from last season?
To quote the late, great Jay Cutler, don't care. I really don't care. I mean, this is the Jerry special. Like, these guys are under contract. Might as well trot them out there. We're not going to fire everyone. We got to still pay these guys. So let's just recycle what we got. But at the end of the day, coaches can only do so much. And I understand hitting coach, maybe, more important than the others. Pitching coach and Ethan Katz, you could nitpick whether or not he should have been fired, and he's had some good years with the Sox and some bad years. But when the talent on the field is what the White Sox were last year, and it looks like they're trotting out the same type of talent next year, there's only so much these guys could do. I feel bad for them, man. Honestly, it's like it is what it is. Just get ready for another 162 games of suckage. Yep. Like it doesn't matter who these guys would. You could, it doesn't matter.
I mean, my favorite part of this is they brought back Marcus Thames, who's career 1.9 WAR with a career 246 batting average. So let's bring that guy to be bring him back to be the hitting coach. That's
a classic do as I say, not as I do situation.
So here's how I want you guys to hit. But didn't you only hit 249? Yes, but it's gonna work for you. Like, oh my god, it's such a fucking Sox thing to do, is to bring a shitty ass hitter into the organization.
Yeah.
All right. What's next, Peter, on the headlines here?
All right. Second headline. I mean, we've been very negative about Chicago sports, so I'm going to switch it up a little bit. We're all, quote unquote foodies. Big news. The snack wraps are back. People have been going crazy about this for the better part of like 10 years or so. And especially because in other parts of the world, the snack wraps never left. But in the United States, gone, and people have been crazy. The CEO of McDonald's went on NBC, big announcement. They're back, and the internet rejoiced. So my question to you guys are, do you guys care about the snack wraps being back?
Not really. I'm happy for the people who are happy, but they were never my thing. I would take that's to say I never had it before, but I would take like 3 bites and I'd be like, all right, now I need a Big Mac.
Jojo says yes with all the exclamation points. Dougie?
Yeah, these things were my jam, man, back in the day. Not the breaded one, but the grilled version. Yeah, man, dude, you get like 2 or 3 of those things because they're not big. They're like that big.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You gotta have like at least 2
Yeah.
minimum, maybe 3.
Yeah, you get 2 or 3 of those things. But yeah, dude, I liked them as a on the go working outside type guy. Like, yeah, definitely.
CD44's in the comments said, I thought this was going to be about Chicago Michelin stars that got announced tonight. Nope, snack wraps. We were busy prepping for the show. If you want to tell us, CD44, in the comments, who got the Chicago Michelin stars, that would be good. We'll talk about it because we've probably never been to any of those restaurants.
You know what, Peter? We have Bum's Happy Hour on Friday, so we can talk about that on the Happy Hour.
There we go. Yeah. Hopefully it's Paco's Tacos.
Oh, 100%. All right, what next headline here?
So,
yes, I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah. So John Gruden, newest Barstool hire, taking the internet by storm. He posted this. He said, "Here with the biggest Raiders fan, the Black Widow. She gave me some pregame thoughts before the big matchup in Tampa." And then someone quickly quote tweeted it, and it went super viral. Did Gruden smash and then put his shirt inside out? Because if you look at his polo, this Barstool Sports polo, there's no reason that polo should be inside out unless like you put it on pretty quickly and didn't notice it.
So good for him, man. Well, I mean, that kind of gives the whole new meaning to the term Gruden grinders, right?
Gruden grinders, yeah.
I'm telling you. How crazy do you think this dude's old face is? Just
Spider 2 Y banana. Boom.
Yeah, that's 100%. I just smashed in the office. Don't tell anyone.
Jojo saying next Bears head coach right there. People have been going crazy for Gruden. Pass.
He did put it out there that he'd be I think it was like he would be interested in that job, but yeah, no. He's still got all the stink on him from like, what was it, the hazing?
Well, it was
bad
the emails. It was some bad emails. He probably shouldn't have done. He went the Hulk Hogan route on some people, saying things he probably shouldn't have said. But those emails, I mean, he got railroaded by Roger Goodell. I think he was still suing Roger Goodell at one point last time I checked. I mean, you could talk about Gruden being bad guy, but I mean, Goodell did him dirty there too.
I was just saying, suing Goodell, that's right on brand with Barstool. So,
oh yeah, they fit right in.
Yeah,
they fit.
Yeah, good for him though. I mean, at your age, at that age, you gotta take what you can get, my man. So, smash it.
All right, this was a big news yesterday. I mean, all last night.
Breaking news: Juan Soto did not sign with the White Sox.
No, yeah, unfortunately.
They were the Sox were about 12 years and about $700 million short than what was needed to get the deal done. But I'm happy that he actually went to the Mets and not the Dodgers or the Yankees. I feel like those two teams just suck up all the free agents, and it's good to see Mets Nation. I know you're looking for your hat there.
I'm looking for my Mets hat. I'm sorry, I misplaced it. It's probably upstairs because I took a picture. There you go.
He's gonna be 41 years old if he plays out the duration of his contract. I mean that's wild. That like obviously he might get the Bobby Bonilla treatment, and if they release him, they're gonna be paying him for deferred money for all those years. But I mean, good for them. I'm happy for it. I just wish, just secretly jealous that none of Chicago sports teams want to shell out that kind of cash.
Jerry does not have anywhere near the money that Steve Cohen has.
Well, I mean, people, and by people, I'm looking right at HBIC over there, have been, hoping for the Grim Reaper for a couple of the Chicago sports owners. I was hoping, you see the $765 million and maybe a couple 2-3 aneurysms on 35th and Shields, but maybe I don't think that was the case. We would have heard about it.
Never know. Maybe they're giving it time.
Yeah, but people were saying this is bad for baseball. Other people are saying this is good for baseball. Between them and the Dodgers, what they're doing. Realistically, just real hot take. Do you care one way or the other, Jason?
No, I don't care. I mean, I think it's look, if he's got Boris as his agent, and if he's getting the years and the money, good for him.
Yeah. Dougie?
My hot take is, yeah, I didn't really care. I did care when he went to the Mets and not the Yankees, because those Yankees fans are
Oh my god! You know what? We'll make ourselves big real quick, just to motherfuck those dirtbag Yankee fans. They are losing their shit, and I'm laughing. Every viral video is better than.
We should
feed me the Yankee tears.
Let's just do a whole next week. Let's do a whole viral video segment of just Yankee fans crying.
Yes, that's a great idea. Let's write that down. I'll clip like the best 5. If you guys are in the comments, send us your favorite Yankee tears videos. I saw all those gabagools crying, burning jerseys. They don't know what to do with themselves. Motherfucking Steinbrenner, you guys were once big and bad, and how the mighty have fallen. I love it. Give me all of it.
You know, and the great part is they're burning 22 jerseys with no names on the back. You know, like there's going to be another 22 on the team eventually. It might be somebody good, you know?
That's a great point, Dougie. There's no names on the back. You could have kept it.
Idiots.
But yeah, I mean, Landon and Dougie, little fresh. Yeah. Let's get them some baseball contracts, because holy shit.
Yeah, just one.
So let's talk. So let's transition. Or do we have any more headlines, Peter?
Well, the last headline is still baseball related, but it was the thing about
Rob transition to our future segment.
Yeah, so Rob Manfred was saying there's a buzz around adding the golden bat rule to Major League Baseball. This rule will allow a team to choose one at bat in every game and use their best hitter regardless of whether they're in the lineup. And baseball purists went crazy. The Savannah Bananas have been doing this last year, and it's been pretty fun. But obviously, Savannah Bananas is not Major League Baseball. It's, entertainment baseball, not professional sports. But there is a little bit of like people that thinking like this would be interesting. So I guess Ron Manfred is hell bent on changing baseball, whether it's for the good or for the better or for the worse. Because people were pissed about the pitch clock. I think the pitch clock has been pretty good. Like, I think, we're in and out of games and it's been better.
They can't get drunk as fast.
Can't get drunk as fast.
And that's tailgating.
And then the other thing is like the relief pitchers having the pitch 3 at bats. I think that's been good too, because we're not having like the switch back and forth and the commercial timeouts and everything else. So there's been slow change that people weren't really willing to adopt, but I think has been for the better. But this is by far the most drastic of the 3. What are you guys' take on it?
I think it's stupid. I think it's just they're just trying to throw shit at the wall in the media and see how the outrage is, and if it's not as bad, then they're gonna try to bring it in. But yeah, I think this is just. It's nonsensical. I think, what was it in the World Baseball Classic? It was Ohtani versus Judge. Was that?
Wasn't it Soto versus Judge? All right, Soto versus Ohtani. Either way, it was a huge
it was, and they saw that and the buzz it got on social media. The last game of the World Baseball Classic, and we got to capture that magic. So let's try to figure out a way how we can do that. And what if we could have Judge or Ohtani bat with the bottom of the 9th and 2 outs, and have a walk-off grand slam or some shit? Like, okay, cool. Like, but have it be like the way the lineup comes. I think it's just. It's probably one of the dumbest ideas I heard. There's a million other ways you can fix baseball besides. Doing the golden bat rule, right? Oh, sorry, it was Trout versus Ohtani. Thank you, Drew.
Bogues knows baseball.
I couldn't remember. I know it was Ohtani versus one of the big guys.
It was the World Baseball Classic. Because
that's what I remember that. I remember it was World Baseball Classic. I just couldn't remember who Ohtani was against. Anywho, but I mean, you could easily just want to grow the game, fix the fucking blackout, embrace gambling. Get rid of the fucking ghost runner and extra innings. Like there's a million things there, super simple things to do that can grow the game of baseball, than trying to make up just stupid nonsensical rules. So
I thought Dougie fell asleep for a second, but he froze. Dougie, you froze with your eyes closed, but I was like, oh shit, he's tired from his nap or from his cruise. But so that was gonna transition to our nonsense segment. People were talking about how to quote unquote fix baseball as if it's broken, which we could argue whether it's broken or not. I think it's still the second most popular sport, and their viewing numbers this year compared to the last 7 years were through the roof. A lot of that has to do with Ohtani and the Dodgers, but attendance was up this year. They're giving out $700 million contracts. So how broken is baseball really? But I liked the golden at bat rule. I like these kind of like off the wall, outside the box ideas. So I text the group and I said, give us more of these. I want more of these kind of crazy ass rules. And the comments are going to hate it, but we got some doozies. So who wants to start? Dougie, or Jason?
I'll go first here because I got some here. All right, my first one is, we saw what happened when Tim Anderson was fighting against Cleveland, and there was a lot of brawls this past year on the field with baseball. Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
I'm going to go back. If you guys are in the comments, go back. I mean, you probably watched it already. Who are we kidding? But the au jus was at 8. I'm going to go back and watch that after this is over.
Yeah. So my first fix for baseball is let there be fights like in hockey. Let them just duke it out.
Okay.
Until someone gets dropped, and then no more of the benches clearing. Or if they're going to clear, let them all just brawl until it gets into Royal Rumble style.
I got an idea for your idea.
Okay.
Almost like if you do want to like square up, you have like designated fighters, and it's almost like I just watched Troy recently.
Like
remember the Brad Pitt movie? Yeah, you have one fighter. You put him on the pitching mound, and then there's like a punishment one way or the other if you win or lose that fight. But no one else could fight. If you get beamed or you slide hard into second base and you want to fight, you guys can't fight, but the two other guys can.
Okay, all right, but I still say it should be let them fight it out like in hockey until someone gets dropped, and then you break it up. Because imagine back in the day, Nolan Ryan versus Ventura, if they kept that fight going before it got broken up, I mean that would have been headlock and punch in the face, and then
Noogie City.
Ventura might not have never been the same. But I'm gonna go fights like hockey.
Okay.
My second thing is there was a lot of talk about after the Soto signing that people needs to be salary caps, and they get outraged, and it's always the same team. You need to be salary cap. Okay, so I'm gonna meet you guys halfway with this. We're gonna appease both sides. Salary caps only for teams in LA and New York. Doesn't have a salary cap, but if you live in New York or LA, your team is located there. You have a salary cap.
I thought you were
and that's it.
I like it, but I thought you were going to go the other way with it. Instead of salary caps, you're going to have to like a hard salary floor.
Yeah.
I'll make sure Jerry has to spend at least $100 million. You have to spend between 100 and 200. But if you have to spend at least 100, if you live in New York or LA, your team's in New York or LA, you get max 200. That's the biggest salary cap you can get, and then everyone else gets unlimited.
I like that as well. Let's get to my sex summer.
Fix. Cheers. My last fix for baseball is there's a lot of talk about the strike zone, and we need the robo umps, and people say no robo umps. It kills the tradition of the game and the human element of the game. So we're gonna compromise, and we're gonna do both, but there's gonna be punishment. So from now on, all the umps are gonna have like fucking electropods like on their nuts, and every time they get the fucking strike called wrong, they're gonna get zapped in their nuts. That will teach them to get the call right the first time. So you'll have the box on the screen, and it'll say ball, and he goes strike. Then like, oh fuck my game,
That is tremendous.
So if you have like an 82% success rate, but your balls might not exist after one game. So you'll get LASIK, you'll get you wear glasses, you'll do whatever you can not get that call wrong. But same thing with the coach, like first base, second base, third. You get the wrong out, zap the nuts. All umps get zapped.
Dude, if that ever happened, I would absolutely, I'd watch every Fox game known to man, because they do those stupid montages at the end of everything that happened in the inning, whether it was dramatic or not. I just want to see an ump just, just getting zapped in slow motion. That would be hilarious.
So I'm all about compromise with mine. Like, we'll give some people give some people what they want, and then others.
Oh my God! Out. Can you imagine? I mean, Angel Hernandez's nutsack's gonna look like chicharrones, man. It's gonna be straight pork rinds. That thing. JoJo saying, "Hell yeah, take that, CB Buckner."
The smell coming from the stout seeds,
fucking M&M's guy is gonna be fucking passed out.
Holy shit!
All right, Dougie, what do you got?
All right. So I've got two ridiculous ones, and then one that I think is actually sensible. One, you want to make the game more interesting? Take away intentional walks. Don't let people intentionally walk anymore. Just make them pitch to everybody. Or, you know what? Try and, work your way around. Since they were stealing that one from the Savannah Bananas, I think the best rule that they have is if a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out.
Oh,
I like that.
Yeah.
So you're gonna bring that to Major League Baseball?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that to Major League Baseball.
No, because you know what? I'm gonna just fight back a little bit to that.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't like that fucking Zach Hampel guy. And if
no,
the problem with that rule is you're gonna get multiple Zach Hampels on every baseball team. And we can't have Zach Campbell running around the 108 and all of the outfield and stuff like that.
Zach Campbell might be the best right fielder though for the Sox though.
Yeah.
Well, then put him in the field. Don't put him in the stands. Everyone's going to be bringing their baseball mitt to the game.
But it's incentive to fill the stands, because then you're going to have chances. All those empty seats are going to get pelted anyway.
Then we're going to get those gabagools from the Yankees trying to pry the baseballs out of the things again.
That's what I'm talking about.
Royal Rumble.
So my third idea, I think, is actually a sincere idea. Every owner has to put up $1 million per game. The owners bet each other $1 million. So if you lose the game, you lose $1 million. If you win the game, you win $2 million.
For 162 games?
Yep.
That just seems fun. They're probably doing that anyway behind our backs. We don't know.
Jerry isn't.
But do that, Dougie, and then have like a leaderboard throughout the season of who's won the most and who's lost the most. Because I would love to see Jerry Reinsdorf at the bottom, negative 160 million.
Jason, it's called the standings. Everybody will see it.
Yeah, but Jerry don't care about standings. He cares about his bank account. So
no, I know, but wins and losses.
Beefloaf said he had that idea. He said that's my old idea about the owners betting. $5 million in cash per game, heads up, settling cash.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it would motivate the owners. I think. I don't know, probably not.
All right,
but if Jerry was losing 120 million, maybe. I
like that. Maybe I like that. All right, so my first one. I'm a child. I think we're all children of the 90s. I love nostalgia. I used to love the MTV Rock and Jock baseball and basketball games. So people like home field advantages, the Ivy, the short porch, everything else. You could play this as your advantage depending on your lineup, but each stadium has the old school Rock and Jock mitt in somewhere in the outfield. It could be left field, it could be right field, it could be center field, and you can move it around depending on your lineup. And if or when you hit a home run and it hits there, home runs count as triple. So if it's bases loaded and you hit it, that's a 12-run home run right there. Can you imagine how electric it is? Some teams down 8-0, and it's getting late, and you have that fucking Rock and Jock mitt somewhere out there, and you hit it. That'd be highlight city.
Dude, imagine like Joe Buck, like, I mean, I know he doesn't do baseball anymore, but he'd be like, they're only down 11 right now. They got the bases loaded and, like fucking.
So big mitt, bring back the rock and jock mitt. That's that I used to love those things. Yeah. Joey P
especially
saying
the basketball. There's just a basketball one and get the 20-foot rib and like the 20-pointer.
yeah, the 20-pointer, same thing. Yeah. So that was my first idea. I was like, I want the big mitt somewhere at guaranteed rate field. My second one is going to be a problem. And this one, your guys' idea, Jason, you're shocking the umps in their nutsack was probably the most far-fetched. This might be worse. I think the owners would rather shock the umps. Relegation.
I'm all for that.
The best thing about soccer is relegation, and it makes everything matter. It would have made this White Sox season matter so much more. Mm-hmm. So my idea, the best thing about baseball is the playoffs, right? There's nothing better than the playoffs. So this runs concurrent with regular MLB postseason, and it's the playoffs for relegation. It's 4 teams. So this year it would have been the Marlins versus the Rockies, and then the Angels versus the White Sox. The winner of those playoffs is the team that's not relegated. They get to stay in the league. The other 3 teams you're out of the league for 1 season. You still get the revenue share for, owners. You still get like the TV revenue from everything else, but you get to lose your home games. You lose everything. You're out for 1 season. And then the next season, those 3 teams are back in and 3 teams are out. The winner of the playoffs get the number 1 draft pick. So there's incentive for that. And if you win the playoffs, you also get 1 year exempt from relegation because you're still a shitty team. The White Sox are still a shitty team, even if you win this thing, but you get exempt next year from playing in it. So give me relegation. I would watch so much more baseball if I know the Angels and the Rockies and the A's and all these teams that they care. Like those games matter now.
You would. That's probably going to crush like the trade deadline, though, don't you think?
There'd be there'd be teams wanting, I think there'd be more movement because even like
see, I was thinking there would be less movement, because you don't have a ton of sellers, so not everybody could be buyers,
That's a good point. I didn't think about the trade deadline.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I totally agree with that. The other aspect of it is like once you get relegated, like, are you now in the AAA?
No, you just sit out a season.
So season ticket holders are just fucked.
Yeah, you're out. That's what happens in soccer. You just lose and you're done.
Damn.
And like the players will still get paid for the 1 year. The players still get paid. They don't get to go on other teams or anything. You get to play as if you get paid as if you're in the league.
So that's how it works with soccer.
Yeah, you get you then you move down to AAA. Like
so
technically AAA. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Last one is even more far-fetched than this one. Jason, you are going to hate this because we talk about
international games.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, you're gonna do me dirty like that. You son of a bitch.
Do you remember Vince McMahon and the ruthless aggression era?
Yeah.
I'm going aggressive expansion. So hear me out. The World Baseball Classic was awesome. We talked about it on the BumCast. What we cared, the fans in the stadium, and everyone gave a fuck. And like all of those crowds were electric.
Mm-hmm.
You got to capitalize on the Japan market with Ohtani and everything else. So I'm bringing in 5 teams from Japan. So we're merging with the teams from Japan. They're going to be in the National League. 5 teams. They're their own division.
Okay.
AL, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Mexico City. They're now the AL South, if you will.
Oh.
You play as if you're Major League Baseball. When you go to Japan, you go there for 2 weeks. You come back 1 week bye, like in football. We got bye weeks now. So there's a lot more
Now,
travel.
now the season runs in December.
No. We're cutting down. We can't have 162 games when you're traveling to Japan. But think of the markets now. Major League Football is trying to get to London, and they're in Brazil and in Germany, everything else. Dude, that Japan market is ripe for the taking with all of that money. And can you imagine like a Mexico City versus Dominican Republic game in the playoffs for Major League Baseball? There might be riots, and it'd be awesome.
You're right. I hate it.
Yeah, no, you weren't gonna like it, but I love it. Give me Japan. Give me Latin America.
International Bums Tailgate?
40-team league. Yeah, imagine whiskey at Comiskey, or what would we do with that?
Whiskey no, sake at Comiskey.
Sake at Osaka?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're talking.
Hell yeah.
All right, so that's our
We're thinking off the wall here. Mr. Brightside is nitpicking all of my ideas. These are outside of the box. We're thinking outside of the box.
Make one Brock Purdy comment.
Yeah, one Brock Purdy comment railroaded me. I'm sorry about that.
all right. Before we get to our bums and MVBs, we have a lot of people jump in, after Ju and throughout the show after some Bears talk. We just want to reiterate from the beginning of the show. We're back with a live show, but we're at the new location. We're at the Ramova Theater, January 10th. So it's going to be on the Ramova Loft, but we're going to be taking our talents to the Ramova, and so book it, mark in your calendar. January 10th, 6 p.m. against the Red Wings. It's going to be. We'll get more details, but a month away. Bums live at the Ramova for Hawks, and we're gonna take up a winner this time. So
we're hammering out the details, but two things we can tell you: it's gonna be an awesome time, and it's free $99 for anyone that wants to go. It's a Friday night. We could start off the weekend right. Original 6 matchup. It's gonna be awesome, and it, like I mentioned earlier in the show, consider this like a little pregame, a little tease for Sox Fest Live later in the month. You get familiar with the Ramova and the Ramova Loft and the beers and the parking and everything. And then we party again at the end of the month.
Yep. So book that in your calendar. All right. Now, time to close the show as always with our bums and MVBs.
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
You call me a bum? My man, I take that with pride, with honor, that I'm a bum. I'm the king of the bums, baby.
Because you're training like a damn bum, you know that? Bum. A bum.
Bum. All right, let's get to our listener what a bums and MVBs. First off, we have Gordo. MVB, my family for all their help during these past 2 months. Yes, we appreciate you, our friend Gordo, and we have a donation set up to help him. He's got an upcoming open heart surgery, triple bypass, quadruple bypass. I don't know what the number is, but it's not good.
Multiple bypass.
Yes, multiple bypasses. So feel free to, if you can, I know it's holiday season, budget might be stretched in, but if you can, help out our friend Gordo. You can scan the Venmo code right here on the screen, or you can DM us, and we have his Zelle information as well. So anything helps for our good buddy. So, and his bum of the week is the missing Southside Bum for not beating Peter in fantasy this week.
The Bums Fantasy League is down. This was the final week. Playoffs are starting. I think Drew Bogues was in the comments. He's in first place. He gets a first round bye. Dougie, did you lock in your first round bye, or are you gonna have to play? Because you were in second place for a long part of the season.
Yeah, I'm in second place right now. I'm actually in the matchup right now with Jason. It's 118 to 110. But I'm projected to win. I have Burrow, Higgins, and Brown.
Yeah, you got a bunch of Bengals going, right?
Yeah, but they're not
doing
but great.
Gordo needed me to lose for him to jump up a spot. But your boy's been hot. Your boy's coming into the playoffs hot. And I'm looking to feast on a couple guys that have been talking shit all year long. I know Dougie likes to yap his mouth. Drew Bogues is in the comments. And Gordo talked the most shit out of everybody. He ended up falling at the end of the season, and I jumped him. So, yeah, it'll be good.
All right, next up, Joey P. Bum of the week. Concert ticket prices. I might need to refinance my mortgage in order to afford some of these shows. Hey, you know what? I said the same thing, man. Like, I think it was Metallica tickets were ridiculous. I think they were over. Maybe they were close to 300 for like Upper Deck or something like that. I think they were maybe not that high, but they were high for 400 level at Soldier Field. But yeah, they're out of control. And then obviously you just get nickel and dime with Ticketmaster. So fuck them. But yeah, concerts suck.
Yeah.
Concert prices suck. MVB, my wife, 19 years, still putting up with my nonsense. Yeah, she's the best.
She's a ride or die. I mean, credit to Sandy. Joey's dragging her along to any and every Chicago sports game. They're at the Blackhawks games. They're at the Bulls games. They're at the White Sox game. I mean, they've been to probably like 200 games this year. They've probably seen like 4 wins.
Maybe he's bad luck.
No,
Yeah, Joey, stop buying tickets. Maybe we don't know.
They've only seen 4 wins. That's because Sandy gets everybody so obliterated.
Yeah, they don't remember the other wins.
Yeah, right.
That's a good point.
Lucky Spags, MVP is me for recommending that awesome dive bar, and bums are the Bears because they fucking suck this year. Yeah. Apparently, Spags went to go try to watch the game at Jack's place yesterday, and they were closed for the game.
Jack's place.
Yeah.
I
Unless
didn't
he
know that.
went to the wrong place. But I told him to head down. If they were closed, have him to go down to Lucky's by Chicago Ridge Mall. That's always a nice little
Good Bloody Mary's there. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we got Jeff Bartlett, MVP. The weather today, yeah, been a couple 2-3 days of beautiful weather. I had to get my car washed because nice weather.
I saw you were in the Technicolor car wash. I put my Christmas lights up finally. It only took till December 9th, but it was a nice day, so I'm like, I better do it now, otherwise I'm not going to do it. So everybody clap for me, please.
Yeah, I mean, the Christmas lights came out sooner than your grill does in the summertime, so.
Oh, that thread pissed me off.
What thread?
No, like you in one thing, you had the grill with the nice steak and every odd shed on there, and I was like, oh man, my guy's out there still grilling. And then like 2 minutes later, it's like, nah, that was a Google. I took that photo from
yeah,
Google.
No, the grill has been inside. It's sad soup season. I said it in the tweet. It's sad soup season. It's not grilling season anymore.
And just people who say it's a child's responsibility to repair a fractured relationship with a deadbeat parent. I agree.
That's 100%. No notes added.
Yep. King Ass, bum of the week. Whoever snitched on Luigi. You know what? I will say that as soon as people found out the guy who killed the CEO, that his name was Luigi, the internet stays undefeated with the memes and the puns, and it stays undefeated. I think that was an early Christmas present to the interwebs, was having his name be just hardcore Italian.
Yeah, we got a couple of Luigi threads on this thing. I think the next 4 are Luigi related.
MVB is Juan Soto's bank account. So let's keep it rolling here. Missy, MVB, hot Italian hitman uniting a nation. I mean, ain't wrong there.
He's a handsome murderer. What can you do?
Yeah. Christopher Columbus. We got a new Italian man ready for statues. I think I saw the Sopranos, meme at least like 50 times today about in this household.
Oh yeah.
He's a hero. That meme.
Yeah.
SPF MVP Joey P and Sandy for enduring the worst of Chicago sports, but keep on going to games. Yeah, well, maybe stop going then. Maybe go to Detroit and go to some games for the Lions or something. Right? Have them knock them down a peg. Bum of the week goes to the person of interest in the murder of the CEO. If you're named Luigi, I expect them to catch up with you in Venice or Milan, not in Altoona, PA. I mean, I guess there's Italians in America.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it, Jason.
Because Julie's bum SPF for not knowing Italians do and can't live in the United States.
We just talked about the Yankee Gabagools for a good segment.
MVP Peter, just because he's my best friend.
Hell yeah.
Nice. That's nice.
You're my best friend too.
You're my best friend. And Mailman Jack, MVP, the 1972 AL MVP, Dick Allen, finally getting into the Hall of Fame. What took so long? I have a couple 2-3 guesses, but
You have a
happy he's
couple
finally
guesses
in.
on why it took too long. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. But congratulations to the
congratulations
Allen
to
family.
Dick
I saw
Allen, yeah.
his son was the one celebrating and obviously receiving the phone call, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bum of the Week, anyone that will say Juan Soto isn't worth the money, yes, he's worth every penny if someone's willing to pay. Exactly.
Yeah, get
Same,
that bag.
same thing like hookers.
Yeah, okay. Juan Soto, man on the street.
Boom. Ayo.
All right.
All right. Let's get to our bums and MVPs. Dougie, you're back. You go first. What you got?
All right, so I got a few here. So I'm going to start with a bum, and I have a photo for this one. Peter can pull it up. The bum of the week is me. Okay, I still haven't learned how to shut my mouth around Madison. Okay, so I had a couple, 2-3 cocktails,
Shocked.
and I was talking with Mary
70.
outside, and I go, "Hey," I'm like, "Mary, that's that dude from the movie." Mary looks at me and I'm like, "Huh?" She goes, I go, "Yeah, you know, Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder."
Oh, Sam beat you to it.
Madison goes up to him and goes, "Hey, my dad says you're from this movie, Tropic Thunder."
Damn.
Rough scene. All right.
Did he call you out or not?
No. He spoke French, so I don't even know. If he even knew.
I was expecting him to hit you over the head with that thing like the honky tonk man.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I gotta start being better about putting my foot in my mouth around Madison. So,
Or maybe you just leave the kids at home and go on an adults vacation.
Yeah, but how do you win Family Man then?
Now that's a good point.
Now this is a bum of the week. This is somebody that should leave their.
I know what you're going with this one.
This lady over here changed a shit diaper in the middle of the rows.
Oh wait, this is the tuna lady.
Huh?
Never mind.
Oh.
Keep going, Dougie.
I don't know.
Sorry.
This lady, literally 4 rows in front of me, changes this brutal shit diaper. The entire cab for the last 15 to 20 minutes of the flight stunk like total shit. She changed the kid, stood up, changed them right on the seats, and then decided to just hold this diaper like it was a trophy. And
like it was a roast beef sandwich.
Oh, dude. And then she goes to hand it to the flight attendant. One of her family members smacks her hand and tells her to put it down. I don't understand the logic of people. Okay. Like you can't see it in the photo. Well, no, you really can't. But the fasten seatbelt sign wasn't on. Take the kid to the bathroom. Do the responsible thing.
Yeah, isn't there the changing trays and like I know they're small as shit, but don't they have like a?
Yes, they are very small, but they, Mary figures it out. They drop down and
Mary figures it out.
Well,
you can't change a diaper in the airport or at the airplane, Dougie.
Not in the airport. You don't want to take kids to disgusting men's bathrooms.
No, I meant the airplane.
Yeah, no. Luckily, we've never came into that situation, but I bump of the week her for just being absolutely ignorant to the rest of the plane. And then my last bum is going to be this is going to be my MVP. I'll go back to my bum. Okay, so my last MVP is going to be Chicago coaches in general. Okay, usually when I go on vacation, I pack 3 hats. And I usually pick my 3 favorite sports teams, Bears, Sox, and Blackhawks. I couldn't walk around any part of the ship without somebody telling me how bad our coaches are. It didn't matter what hat I was wearing. It was, and I told you I was going to get back to it. That is how I found out that Luke Richardson got fired. A guy came up to me and he was like, they finally fired that asshole, or I forgot what he said. He said something. He was like, they finally fired that scumbag, huh? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, they fired Luke Richardson today. I'm like, oh, thanks. I'm like, didn't know. Yeah. But, if I can't even go on a vacation and wear my favorite sports team's hats, let alone 3 of them, and get harassed about how bad my teams are, it's a problem. So, bum of the week, all Chicago sports head coaches.
That's why you gotta have the Mets hat.
Wait, but we talked about this earlier. Why are you bumming the coaches? Just bum the teams. I mean, bum the players, bum the owners. It's all encompassing.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's going to look really good on my year-end bum tournament. So
here you go.
Because where you guys are bumming individual coaches, I'm getting them all.
Yeah, I sniffed that out. Yeah, that makes sense. Smart.
Yep. All right. Finally, my MVB is this guy Don, who is a head brewer of Carnival. He just kind of casually was talking beer with me at the bar, decided to take me in back, give me a whole tour of
take you in back, huh?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, come. I want you to come back here with
me.
He
said, hey, you want to see something cool?
Yeah, he told me a couple 2-3 things.
Next thing, me too.
Super cool dude. Took me back there, showed me his brewing process. Showed me
call it these days.
Yeah, that's what they call it these days. It was a an eye-opening experience, to say. I found out some guidelines that they don't necessarily need to follow at sea, which was pretty awesome.
Can you expound on that, or is it more of like, you're gonna?
Okay, so when say breweries,
they can put crack in the beer if it's international water.
Well, what he was telling me was because when you're in international waters and you're brewing, you don't have to follow any type of U.S. guidelines when it comes to brewing. So U.S. guidelines is when you get barrels, whatever whiskey is or bourbon is still inside of that barrel, that's all you can do. You can't add any. Now, yes, whatever type of puddle you get, that's what you get. He's like, I get a Blanton's barrel. He goes, I could go dump a whole nother bottle of Blanton's in there. And he goes, yeah. So he
it's a fantastic comment.
It is really good. Yeah. But kudos to him. He was at Abita Brewing out of New Orleans, and they cherry picked him to come be the head brewer on Carnival. Took me back there, and actually I'm going to be posting a video probably tomorrow, a little special chug video that I was able to do in the back. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what that mouth does, Dougie.
Yeah.
What that mouth do?
So,
all right. I'm gonna go up next. Let Peter we'll have Peter close the show. My MVB is we mentioned it earlier, is the Brownstone and our friend at Michter's, Raven, for putting on a fantastic Michter's tasting event. It was great time as always. First time at Brownstone doing a tasting event. So those two are my MVBs. My bum of the week, though, it's in NFL this year, week 14 buys. Those
that's a good call.
season buys are fucking atrocious, especially when it comes to you trying to fight for a fantasy playoff spot, and you have 6 teams on bye, and a few of them have some stud players on there, and it kind of puts the kibosh on your, because in that case, and with fantasy, when you got a 12-league team, you're either fighting for a playoff spot with a lot of people on bye, or you have to push the championship game to week 18, which you could be possibly
you're not doing that.
Playing. So week 14 buys are absolutely fucking nonsensical. Just let's get them all done. There was a couple times where there was only like 2 teams on bye, 4 teams on bye, but then all of a sudden week 14 you got 6. Like, just space them out. Like end the buys by like week 12, 13 at the latest. But for week 14 buys, dumb. So that's my bum of the week there.
I like that. It is like it's a problem for fantasy, but I saw someone, I think it was in the tweets, complaining about only there being 3 games on the afternoon slate. There should always be 4. because that Bears game was atrocious. I mean, I had to watch it, but like if you want to do the quad box, you couldn't even do the quad box. You know, like 3 o'clock games, at least have 4 3 o'clock games so you fill out the quad box.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a simple solution.
Yeah,
Like,
do you really have to have 9 games going at noontime every fucking no, you don't have to. Like, just take one of them out. It's not. No one's gonna really notice that there's only 8 games at 12 o'clock. Like,
I think a lot of it has to do with the networks. You know, competing who wants the 3 o'clock spot or the 3:25 start. But do what's better for the fans. Give us more afternoon games.
Yeah. All right, Peter, take us home.
All right. So I told you guys my bum of the week in the pre-show. So I'm going to save that for the end. But my MVP, once again, we talked about it a couple times, but the Ramova. We've been there a couple times. We were there recently for Josh Nelson's birthday. Sox Fest Live is going to be there at the end of the month, but I'm excited to do the watch party. The beers there are awesome. The location, obviously, Bridgeport, you know, the best. So I'm excited for anything and everything we do at the Ramova. So it's going to be fun. And then so my bum of the week, Julie wanted me to do a bum of the week. She texted me. I'm going to save that for next week because I really want to flesh out the story I'm going to tell for that. So that's a little tease for next Tuesday. But it's me. We talk about we were both nominated for the hashtag 108. What is it, like the 108 awards? Dougie, you won Family Man.
The GFY, the Giffies.
The GFY awards. Dougie, you rightfully won Family Man of the Year. I realized why I lost. It was days like today. So I was all excited. You know, Scarlett's been asking, when are you going to do the Christmas lights? When are you doing Christmas lights? She loves Christmas lights. So I did them all. I'm like, hell yeah. I'm a good dad. I did it. And then we rushed to do the show. I asked Julie, what are you doing for dinner? She's like, oh, I'm going to order something. Do you want something? I'm like, no, I'll go pick something up now because I'm in a hurry to, you know, come down here, shower, and do the show. I wanted to go get Mexican food, came back. Scarlett's like, hey, what'd you get? I was like, oh, I got a burrito. Scarlett, my daughter is 7 years old. She said, what's a burrito? And she said, I was like, you don't know what a burrito is? She's like, is it like Doritos? I'm like, what? So then I was like, hold on a second. You really don't know what a burrito is? She had no idea what a burrito was. And I'm like, she eats tacos. I mean, I make tacos. She loves them. I do tacos. She likes it. But apparently, she's just never seen a burrito. 7 years old, you know, that's 7 years too long for her not to know a burrito. So hand up, that's on me. That's bad parenting. I fucked up.
Enchiladas? Does she know what enchiladas are?
So she's a really picky eater. She's really picky with what she eats. So it's always the same stuff: chicken nuggets, PB&J, like mac and cheese. So a lot of it has to do with that. But for her to not know what a burrito is, Mailman Jack is not in the comments, but he's gonna have a conniption whenever he listens to this because he's not gonna believe that my daughter doesn't know what it is. So she learned today, but it was way too late. I felt bad. I was like, what the hell? So immediately came downstairs. I'm like, I gotta bum myself.
I mean, hand up. You know what? You saw Matt Eberflus's lack of accountability, and you said, "Hand up, I need to be a better parent."
Hand up. That's
you
on
found
me.
out. You found out what the whys were, and you addressed them.
Look at the tape, evaluate, learn, and move on. That's what we're doing.
That's why you're still here, and he's gone. Because
thank you, Jason.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. I want to thank everyone who liked, subscribed, shared, commented, super chat us. We appreciate you all. Just a couple reminders. Once again, put that in your calendar. January 10th, 6 p.m. Ramova. We're going to be there live. And then Friday, we're back for the Bums Happy Hour presented by Jack's Place. And like as I said in the beginning of the show, Bears are on Monday Night Football. So we'll be back next Tuesday.
Yeah,
Tuesday show, everyone. So we'll see you then. Until everyone, have a great week. See ya.
Thank you to everyone in the comments. We'll see you later.